turned down Harvard for UAB.
I mean, people find it really hard to believe that that's the case, but I did get the dean's letter from Johns Hopkins and I still have it. So, well, if anyone needs the proof,
We
well,
need it. It's gonna be the thumbnail, like all the admissions. I'm just gonna put it there. Take off your name then, but it's just gonna be there. My goodness, you are a gem. But now I'm gonna ask you, why did you choose the University of Birmingham of Alabama at Birmingham, and why did you also choose public health?
so I'll first answer the question as to why I chose public health. So, as a doctor, you are basically well versed with taking the patient's case history and trying to interact with the patient. So while doing that, you're improving health at an individual level. But I also wanted to improve health at a population level, not just at an individual level. And public health enables me to do that. It helps me to get an overview of what the condition is, the different methods of prevention, like primary prevention, secondary prevention, tertiary prevention, and also understanding the disparities in healthcare as to why some people can afford treatment and some people can't, or some people they're not even educated to go for screenings or tests or anything they can do to lead a more normal and productive life. And I wanted to get a better understanding of that so it could give me an edge over other healthcare professionals just having a knowledge of medicine and public health. And now with the pandemic, with this COVID-19 pandemic, I think I did a great job of choosing public health because obviously in times like these you don't only need doctors, you need doctors and nurses and public health professionals in trying times like these where you feel like you have just risen on the front lines. Like it just feels like a war with an invisible enemy that has overtaken the world. And I think having a knowledge of public health is very essential in times like these.
Wow, that is amazing. It's actually, I think the pandemic really opened up a lot of things and made people realize that there are certain professions that are dear and is very essential that they take them even more seriously. And I think more people are trying to get into the medical space right now.
Mhm.
Right now, I'm wondering why I wasn't in the medical space, but I mean, everybody can be in the medical space. So I'm in the cybersecurity space while I leave it to the likes of you to do the good work that you've always been doing. And I'm so thankful for every frontliner out there that was a part of you know, the people trying to ensure that this doesn't spread beyond what it already is. So the next question, why did you choose the University of Alabama at Birmingham?
So, long story short, I was actually planning to go to Germany, and my German visa got rejected twice for reasons that weren't very specific, although I had all the qualifications and everything, although I had got the invite from the university itself. And so I just at the last moment I thought maybe let's just go to US or maybe UK. And I just blindly sent applications to Cambridge University in the UK, thinking that, oh, I'm just sending it, I won't be accepted there. And I literally prepared GRE in a period of 1 month.
Wow.
I took my GRE exam, and while doing that, I applied to some universities, and UAB was the first university to send me an invite. I did not want to waste time because it was already May or June, and the semester began in August, and I wanted to just start my career without wasting a lot of time. And so I accepted the invite and I said, okay, let's just go to UAB. It's a great university. It's the third largest hospital in the United States. I could get a lot of experience, and later on I could do my medical electives at the UAB hospital because it's really impressive. I was also interested in the research work by some of the faculty members at UAB, and so I thought it's like a great option for me. However, after getting my GRE score, I also applied to some other universities before I got the reply from UAB, and it took me a long time. But then I got and what from Harvard University, Emory, and Johns Hopkins. And my dad was like, Gargi, do you think you're making a mistake? Do you want to go to any of these universities? And I said, no, I think I want to go to UAB. And actually, I had also applied for my US F1 visa, and I had my interview. And so on my visa, it has been printed the University of Alabama at Birmingham. This is the F1 visa. And shortly after that, I got these offers from these topmost universities, and I just didn't know what to do. So I had this option to complete one semester at UAB, opt for a transfer, and go to Harvard or Johns Hopkins. But I just plan to stay here because I loved being here, and there will be more opportunities for me, hopefully in the future, to go back to those universities. But I don't regret my decision. I love being at UAB.
You turned down Harvard for UAB.
Yes, I mean, people people find it really hard to believe that that's the case, but I did get the dean's letter from Johns Hopkins, and I still have it. So, well, if anyone needs the proof,
We
well,
need it. It's gonna be the thumbnail, like all the admissions. I'm just gonna put it there. Take off your name then, but it's just gonna be there. My goodness, you are a gem.
oh my God, no. But I would just say that I learned a lot of things just being at UAB, and
You fell
I,
in love with it.
I love the state. I love Alabama, and I absolutely don't regret it. Although my life could have been just as good had I been studying at Harvard or Johns Hopkins, but um, I'm just really happy with the university I've chosen, and I just decided to go with it.
That's amazing, really. And it also, shows, or should I say, also reflects on your personality, because I keep saying that you're somebody that speaks from the heart, you're compassionate, you're kind, you look deep down into, the purpose behind the things that you do. For some other people, it could have been like a very easy decision for them to like, you know what, UAB, bye-bye. And then they move on to like, the Harvards or the John Hopkins University, and that'll be a wonderful decision, as well. But for someone like you, it just shows, tells a lot about who you are. And also, I believe that there's also a message there that sometimes, you know, it is okay to want the big things in life. And then, but even the small things are also as precious as the big things in life. So yeah, that's
Right.
the message that I'm getting from that right now. But one question that I want to ask you is, how were you able to succeed in your academics at UAB? How can somebody who wants to get into the public health space succeed as an international student or an immigrant or a student, as it were? What do you need to do? How can you get good grades? How can you network with other students and do better? Like, what can you say about that?
So I think the educational system in US is quite different from the one the one we have in India, and I would just say that it was a little confusing for me in the beginning because we didn't really have a Canvas system or something like that.
Yeah.
We had a percentage system, not a grade system. So it didn't take me too long to get acquainted with this system, and I pretty much I communicated with my professors or the teaching assistants if I had any problems, if I had any doubts, or what extra books I could read, what extra materials I could refer to. And I was just focused, and I think that's pretty much it. I didn't go over the roof. I just kept getting A's, and I think I really enjoyed what I did. I think that's the most important thing. You need to enjoy what you're studying. Your heart has to be in what you're doing, and then it won't be like a task. Oh my God, I have to do this. No, it's something you're going to enjoy, and it's something you're going to succeed.
Oh my goodness. Put in your heart, put in the work, but put in the heart, and everything will fall into place. That's what you said. Okay. So are there changes that you'd love to see in the US healthcare system?
Absolutely. There are certain things I wasn't really aware of about the US healthcare system until I, I migrated to the US way back in 2019. Not way back, it's just 2 years ago, but uh, in the span of 2 years, I realized that the healthcare system is, I mean, healthcare in US as such is very expensive. It's not affordable to everyone. And there are times that people, they literally have to pay through their nose just to get medicines that probably or potentially could save their lives. And of course, there's privatization. So socializing medicine isn't the culprit, but insurance companies are. People have to pay a lot of money just to get a medical insurance. And even with an insurance, it's not that if something serious happens, like for example, if they have to undergo any surgery, they still have to pay a large amount of money. And there are people who are normally very healthy, but they just to have an insurance, they still have to pay a lot of money. And I think those people who live below the poverty line or who don't make that much money, for them it's just a big deal. And I think they are the people who suffer the most. So I think so I think the healthcare in US has to be more affordable, because if a person is diabetic and if he doesn't make that much money, how on earth is he going to afford insulin on a day-to-day basis? For someone who has asthma, how is he going to afford the corticosteroids or all the inhalers, some of which are really, really expensive, if they don't make that much money? And it's just, it just melts my heart to see that so many people, they die because they're not able to afford medicines, or adopt any methods of primary prevention that they could undergo regular tests or screenings. And that's the sad reality, I think.
It is really sad. And it's very expensive here for everyone, whether you're a citizen or you're an international or you're an immigrant. It's expensive. So yeah, an affordable healthcare system in the United States of America. I think we actually need to, make a separate video to just discuss the things that should be looked into, here, because that is a lot of money. And so many people die because they
Yeah.
cannot afford these medicines that they need. And some don't even bother to go. I remember there was a time that I was home. I think I was very ill, and then I fell in the laboratory, the UBOB building, and my some of my colleagues at the lab took me there. And I felt like when I went there, nobody took money from me. They just, I showed them a paper. They asked me if I had some sort of insurance or something. I don't know. But then I went there and I came back and I saw that I received a mail or an email from the insurance company. It was just like over $500. I'm like, what did I do? I'm like, it is so expensive. And that is for somebody who had insurance for what I went in there for, even though they didn't find anything. But then that was just way, way expensive. So yeah, I do understand and I can relate totally when you say that something has to be done. There should be some sort of subsidy, some sort of incentive, something. It should just, be brought down as much as possible to make the lives of people out there better, because especially for someone like you who's compassionate about helping people and seeing that people's lives are saved, I'm not sure that you actually did save this. I'm not shocked at all.
It's it's like a sad story, but we have to embrace the truth. And I, I mean, it's one person cannot really change the healthcare system, but I hope there will be many people who think on the same lines as I do, and hopefully in the next 5 to 10 years, we'll see a positive change in the healthcare system. So
Um,
everyone,
yeah, I think so. And more people, please, if you're watching this video and you're enjoying it so far, please don't forget to give us a huge thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Turn on your post notifications bell so that whenever we upload any of such videos and even have her here sometime in the future, you'll be notified as well. And please leave your questions or your comments in the comment section as well. And feel free to join my Telegram group, which is a community of aspiring and current international students in the United States of America. So moving on, I'd like to ask you, what is your career, your intended job path?
so I just received my MPH degree, and my intended job path is to do residency in medicine or surgery. So I have to take two major exams, the licensing exam, step 1 and step 2, and then I will start with my matching process, and then I'll be entering into my residency, which will last for about 2 or 3 years. That would be the non-glamorous years, I would just say, where you basically are You spend long hours in the hospital and you're treating patients, and it's just a part of a learning curve. But I'm just so looking forward to it, to make an impact, a positive impact.
Is what is it? Would you say it is a lucrative career? Would you say there's money in medicine? I want people to come out. I'm going in there for the money. Or even if you're not going in there for the money and people are interested, what is, like the figure, the salary figure, the range, what can you say about landing a job and, job prospects, salary wise, the range wise, what should people expect when they graduate?
So I think that yeah, so basically, when people just read your degrees, MD, MPH, or they say, okay, you're a resident doctor, they just take it for granted that, okay, you're going to make a lot of money, which is true. And obviously, doctors are well respected figures. And if you're a board certified doctor, then obviously you have, there will be hundreds, probably thousands of opportunities, good opportunities waiting for you. But I would just like to say that don't worry about the opportunities. If you're a doctor, if you're a board certified specialist or a surgeon, there will be opportunities. Even if you're a public health professional, there will be plenty of opportunities for you. But just don't see the money. Just don't see that, okay, I'm going to make a six-figure salary. Don't see that. Do it because you like it. And if you're really passionate about what you do, there will be many more opportunities coming to you. So I would just I would just advise anyone to not just focus on the money aspect, but just focus on the opportunities where you just learn and where you grow as a professional. Because I think if you're only focused on how much money you earn, you can't really be a good professional. Money is very important in life. I know that, but it would be safe to say that if you're a healthcare professional or a doctor, you will be making a lot of money. I mean, at least a considerable amount of money to lead a decent living. So it's just like how much you love your job, how well you do your job, and most importantly, just having an open mind and being open to all the opportunities that come your way. You know, but that's what one needs to do. That's my approach.
So would you be looking into opportunities outside of Alabama, or you want to stay back in Birmingham, to continue your career?
Absolutely, I'm open to seeing opportunities all over US. May not be Alaska, but yes, and but yes, I'm open to looking for opportunities. Where if I get a good opportunity, I think it would be fine to move to another state or work remotely. I'm open to that.
All right. So, moving on, have you traveled back to India since you moved here?
No, I haven't.
Why?
Because of the pandemic, I could not travel back to India, and I hope my parents would be able to come to US later this year.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, so I haven't really traveled outside of US, but I'm traveling to different states within the US and just enjoying my stay here.
So, how many states have you been to so far? For me, I think it's three.
I guess I've been to 10 different states, but I think I have been to three states way back in 2015, and just when I was just a tourist, and I visited three or four states, and I guess I've seen a total of 10 states now.
Wow, that's amazing. That is amazing. I really do not want this interview to end, but I'd like to know, for somebody like you in the medical space, you really have time, you have to study and study and study. Do you have hobbies or interests, or what do you do at your spare time?
I definitely have hobbies. I love baking. And
Ah,
yes, I have a sweet tooth. In German, I call it a Süßigkeiten fetishist, which means the quintessential dessert lover.
oh my
So
God.
yeah, I love baking. I love cooking. I love drawing and painting, and I love hiking. I just love being in the proximity of nature.
Yeah, yes, I remember you mentioned that. That's true. And it does, say a lot, about that. Um, do you love dancing? Because when I watch Indian movies, I'm so fascinated by it.
Well, actually, I'm a trained Western classical dancer. I don't really know the Bollywood style of dancing, which most Indians like, but I'm trained in waltz, rumba, cha cha cha, and rock and roll.
It's okay. It's okay. We know that you're a thousand threat, not a triple threat. You have the threat level is so high. It is so high. How can someone even compete with you?
Oh, there are, if not millions, I think there are hundreds of thousands of people who are out there who are a lot better than me, and I try to be like them, because
That's you trying to be humble, but it's okay. We know. So have you been, you said you have family. Do you visit family? Do they visit you? How do you combine or balance student, now you graduated, work life balance? How are you able to do that? And how are you able to, survive during this pandemic?
well, this pandemic did affect me. I mean, I used to read the news and see the numbers, and it really affected my spirits sometimes. But I, I just tried being hopeful. I meditate, and it wasn't really possible for me to travel to see my relatives. But I just used to spend time FaceTiming them, or talking to my friends and my family way back in India, and have my partner, my friends in here. And I'm still mentally sound, I think. But I know that this pandemic has really been hard for many people because you had to stay away from your family and friends. And I'm just grateful for this, for just being born in in the 1990s, because we have all the technology where we can FaceTime, we can make a Skype call, or we don't have to write a letter and wait for weeks or months to receive any reply from people, like how people used to do way back in the olden times. So I would just say that I'm just being grateful for all the things that I have, and although it has been a not so pleasant situation for many people all over the world, I think we have been united, that we have all been affected by this pandemic, and we are navigating through these testing times. But I think I'm lucky to have had friends who used to call me regularly, and I used to call them back, who used to check on me to see if I'm doing okay. And I just want to be grateful and not bitter about anything.
Thank you so much for sharing your story. If someone is looking to connect with you, how can they connect with you?
I think Instagram would be a perfect method if they want to connect with me. And I'm also contemplating starting my own blog. So when that happens, I'm going to post it on Instagram, and I'll also be um, sending messages to all my friends saying that, hey, please check my blog. So if there's any way people could contact me, they can. And I would be sure to help them in whichever way they could.
So what's your Instagram handle?
My Instagram handle is Dr. Gargi, Dr. Point period Gargie. That's my Instagram handle, and feel free to connect with me. I mean, I share stories about what I do on my day-to-day life, or I also give advice for medical students who are still struggling with their exams and they want any advice. So I give that too.
That's amazing. So I remember you mentioned that you were into modeling. Can you tell us more about that?
Oh, so I dabbled as a model when I was in my final year of medicine, when I was basically doing my internship. And although it was considered to be a bit frivolous for some, like, how can you manage medicine and modeling? Those are really two different fields. And I was like, well, why not? Why not just give it a try? And so basically, it was an offer. I was in a salon and I got an offer from someone. And so I modeled. There were several photo shoots. I walked the ramp, and then after coming back to US, I also got an offer from Macy's. I couldn't make it, but I got an offer from Macy's, and then I just enrolled myself in a pageant upon the advice of someone I know, and then I just won the crown and the sash. So I enjoyed my brief stint in modeling. Although I've taken a break from modeling, I really enjoyed being a model. Maybe in the future I would probably do
Are there
some more.
things that someone can learn from modeling?
Someone could learn from modeling.
Their life, anything. Because sometimes people just look at it as if it's, like you said, frivolous. What impact does it have in your life? But I believe that there's a lot more, except I'm wrong.
No, you're not wrong.
asking you, what can someone learn by, going for rehearsals, being questioned, competing with other tall, pretty girls like you? What are there to learn?
I think modeling, just like many other things, is just a form of art which needs to be appreciated. I mean, if you don't like modeling, fine, but I think it's just like any fine art, be it like sketching or painting or, maybe singing or whatever. Just like that, modeling is just an art. And if you love it, then I think one should go for it. Or if you think you have a flair for that, posing, or if you're a fierce fashionista or maybe a clothes horse, you like to dress up and you like to pose, then I think modeling is a great profession for you, because it shows what kind of a person that you are. And if you can be unapologetically yourself, then I think modeling is a great profession for you, because you just show who you are and people love you for who you are and not what you're trying to it's not a facade, it's just you. So what I learned from modeling is that it just gave me an opportunity to, you know, show people that, okay, you could be a doctor and you could also be a model, and everyone doesn't need to be judgmental about that, you could do both. She can be both. There was recently a research where uh, there were researchers who said that female surgeons who posted pics of swimwear on social media, it created a negative impact. And that was made with a lot of backlash from all the female physicians and also the male doctors and surgeons, who said that that was completely wrong, because female doctors and surgeons, they too have the freedom to dress up the way they like, and what you wear or what you do, it doesn't change who you are. It just changes people's perceptions about you based on their own judgmental thoughts and opinions. So that's a very important lesson I learned from modeling, is that people are going to judge you no matter what. But if it's something that you like, if it's something that makes you feel that, oh my God, I'm comfortable in what I'm doing and this is me, then you just go ahead. It just taught me to be more fearless, I would say.
I really wish that this interview isn't going to end anytime soon, but I know it has to end. So, what are your final words to the people watching you right now?
First of all, I would like to thank you for giving me this opportunity. And I would just tell people that just be you and be fearless, no matter if you're a girl or a guy, if you're an immigrant, if you are a native. If you have the potential, you're going to shine no matter what. And don't afraid to speak up, let your voice be heard, because I think every person is unique in his or her own way, and every person has something to teach the world or to share a message. And you, be it social media, be it through interviews like that, you can share your message, or you can share thoughts and create a positive impact on this world. But just don't be afraid, speak up and let your voice be heard.
Guys, with that being said, we've come to the end of this interview and you heard it all. Speak up, don't be afraid, pursue your dreams, follow your dreams. If you love something, go for it, irrespective of what the world or the society thinks about it. If it gives you joy, do it. You can have the best of both worlds. If you've not learned anything at all, learn from Dr. Gagi, that compassion and having, thinking about the purpose of what you're doing is very important in life as well. And ensuring that you remember the upbringing that you were raised with, how your parents instilled their, knowledge, character in your life will also shape your person and the kind of future that you eventually be added to. So always, always go after whatever it is that you have or you want to do. Be open to sharing your story, your message to everybody, using whatever platform that seems comfortable and best for you. Don't put yourself behind. Let your light so shine. And since you said that this is the end of this interview, I really, really want her to come back again. And I know that you all want her to come back again as well. So we're going to be having a different segment. I think that one will just be tailored to medical advice to students, the questions that, medical students find challenging and what she can say about those challenges, how she can advise you to become a better student. So I believe that's going to be the next session that we're going to have. And subsequent sessions in the future, we also find a team. And if you want a particular video or question or anything for her to answer, you can also leave them in the comments down below, and we will make another video to answer those questions if they were not answered in this video. So thank you so much, and thank you for giving me your time. You were thanking me for having you here. I'm thanking you for sharing your story, because it's such a beautiful, beautiful and inspiring story. So it was really nice having you here, and I wish that this interview wouldn't end.
Thank you so much. It was lovely meeting you. And yes, I'm looking forward to more sessions. So have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye.